In this video, we're going to be talking about a wheel and axle. So a wheel and axle is a type of simple machine that makes work easy. So here, this would be an example of a wheel and axle. The axle would be this yellow rod over here connecting the two wheels. The wheels are connected to the yellow rod through something called gears. These gears hold these two objects in place. So the wheels are the ones that make this entire part move. So it allows this object to change its location based on the direction it goes through. Meanwhile, the axle is the one that holds the wheels together so they can act simultaneously together. Now, if I were to put input force on the axle, the wheels are the ones that move. If I were to put input force on the wheels, the axle is the one that moves. So now we're going to be looking at a few examples and how this wheel and axle helps make our work easier. In history, the ancient Egyptians had to move these big stones to be able to create the pyramids. However, they couldn't move these big stones with just sheer manpower. They also had to use some innovation. That's where the wheel and axle comes in place. Now, what they first noticed is that, let's say this is a heavy brick, and I'm going to be using a spring scale to determine how much force it takes to lift this heavy weight. So, if I were to lift it directly up, it would be between 400 to 500 grams, or between 4 to 5 newtons. So, this would take a lot of energy. Now, if I were to drag it, it would probably take around 1 newton or 100 grams. Not that much force as before, but still quite considerable considering that these are heavy stones. But if I were to put this on a wheel and axle, and if I were to use these wheel and axles to move or transport this heavy stone from one area to the other, and if I were to pull it, it takes almost zero force. So it's quite easy to move it. Hence the reason why these ancient Egyptians were able to move stones from one area to the other. Wheel and axle doesn't just have to be with stones, it can also be with other kinds of heavy materials. Things like cars and other kinds of transportation vehicles use wheels and axles to be able to transport objects and people from one area to another. This is all about wheel and axle. The axle is this yellow rod over here. The gears are the ones that connects the wheels and the axle, and the wheel is the one that allows the object to change its location based on the direction it goes to.